You're listening to ABA One-on-One Podcast.
Come explore the No Strings Attached e-news online magazine. Our global array of authors inspire, delight, and educate with practical and entertaining articles. And with Focus On, we help producers of film, web series, and other video content attract a wider audience. Plus, your project can stream on Roku, Apple TV, Fire TV, and more with our media partners E360 TV and NETV. No Strings Attached e-news, focusing on human interest. Advertising available, nsaen.com.
Hey guys, it's time for a new episode of ABA One-on-One.
Open up, yeah. Open up now. Open up. Open up, yeah. Open up. Open up now. Give him a bone.
Hey guys, welcome back to another ABA One-on-One. Today in the house, we're honored to have Reggie Theus. Man, this is going to be fun. I got Rick with me. Brian is out coaching today, so he won't be on. I think Melbourne's out of lockdown. But anyway, Rick, Reggie, let me say welcome to ABA One-on-One, man. Let's talk basketball.
I appreciate it. Let's get it done.
All right, Reg. Rick here. I just want, again, I reiterate what CJ said. I want to thank you so much for coming on with us. And you know, I guess just keep getting better. We go right down the line from Artis, Gilmore to Reggie Theus. I mean, it can't get any better than that.
No,
yeah, well, no. Artis used to be my big man, so that's a good thing.
That's why I said that.
Yep.
Artis Gilmore, he's a funny guy. You know, he had really bad hands. Like, you know, like just basically, if you throw the ball to him, it's like throwing it off the backboard almost. and he used to get mad at me all the time. He would say, "God dang it, Reggie, stop throwing me the ball when you're not looking at me."
Yeah, you were just too cool back in the day, bro.
No, well, you know, listen, I had to make eye contact with him, then loft it to him. If I threw it a little bit with a little heat,
throw it to his hands, right? Throw it to his hands.
If you threw it to his hands, you might be in trouble.
Yeah.
Then eventually, he got tired of me running up and down the floor, so he would get the rebound. Then he would pump fake me, and basically then give me the finger and tell me to come here, come get the ball. He would hand it to me so that he could get down court before I could shoot it.
That's mad.
But what a good guy. Well, you talking about somebody that's been through it now. Yeah. He has been through it. But anyway, coming from the West Coast, let's talk a little bit about that, because I know you're a West Coast guy, you Inglewood. Coming to the East Coast, I know you that's right, but I know you were with the Magic for a year or two in New Jersey. But just tell me a little bit what it's like coming from the West Coast to the East Coast. I know it's a transition.
Well, I mean, so I went to school at UNLV. I could have gone to school pretty much anywhere in the country, but you know, everybody knew that I wasn't going to go that far from home, and ended up in Nevada, where the air is dry, obviously. But my first year in the league, I ended up in Chicago in the worst snowstorm in history. We had over 250 inches of snow that year. But of course, I didn't know the difference, so I just thought it was all bad. I knew it was pretty bad the one time that Artis came to pick me up for practice, and he was walking to my house, and he went behind the snowdrift, and he disappeared. Now, Artis is 7'2", so... And then he's probably about almost 8 feet with his afro at the time. So when he disappeared and the afro disappeared, it was pretty high drift there.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
But it was super cold that first year after being from the West Coast. So that, you know, you got to get used to it. It's like anything else, whether you're coming east, to the Florida area. Or, you know, the East Coast where basically the Midwest, even Chicago, Chicago's a different kind of cold though. Chicago's that hawk, you know.
Tell me about.
Well, if you put on a jacket too small and with a hawk, the hawk will beat that jacket right off of you. You know, I've actually seen people get stripped of their clothes by the wind, in Chicago. You're walking down the street, but you hit one of those corners where there's an alley and there's a wind tunnel going through there. I've seen people get knocked down by the wind, and basically the jacket just come right off of them. It's the funniest thing ever.
Man, I did boot camp there, so I remember those days.
Oh yeah. It sends a different kind of chill through your body.
Very great.
Well, what? Let me ask you something, Reggie. What's your take on the Olympics now? That's a big thing going on here now.
Well, I think it's great. It's just such a hard time. I feel bad for all these athletes. I feel bad for the ones that test positive. They work so hard. They only get to do this every 4 years or so.
Yeah.
So, and this one they passed up. They passed it up the last 4 years, and I get this time they weren't going to pass it up. Too much money's being lost, and they just assume it's better to have it even if we don't have fans. And for the most part, so far it's been okay. I mean, we've got the bubble, the NBA, what's been going on last year, and we're still in it right now. But what's been going on, we're kind of used to watching sports now with no fans. We're kind of used to having the pumped in noise and doing things a little differently. Now it's going to be really different for me if this continues, because I wasn't coaching, in the last 3 years. So this will be a new experience for me, dealing with the contact tracing and the COVID testing and all the craziness.
Oh yeah.
Hey, let me ask you, what do you think about our boys over there? What I've been kind of watching around the world, like the Aussie players, they all get to play together growing up, and then when they go to the NBA, then they go to a team and they come back. But the USA team, we're always all on different teams, and then we come together for, just for the Olympics. And it's starting to show, because the other teams are catching up with us now. That's why USA is having all these hard times with these other teams. What's your take on that?
It's difficult. Obviously the world has gotten smaller. The game has gotten global. They can thank us for the growth of basketball. They can thank us for their ability to play this game the way they play it, with the TV rights and the fact that the NBA is so globally popular now. They emulate our game. They emulate they emulate the entire NBA, and they're getting great at it. It's hard for me, because outside of the physicality of the game, I still think our players are the best players in the world. And even the guys that they have over there are the best players in the world.
Yeah.
But when you start to think of team, when you start to think of, the physicality of the game, the differences in some of the rules, and then our guys just got finished playing a season, and they're just rushing over there to play with very little time to really prepare to play.
Yeah.
We're at a disadvantage, but I don't know how they feel about it. But I when I played in Europe, I wouldn't care who they were. I was going to take care of my business, because they're just not, the talent level, the athleticism, all those things, they still don't have what we have. But for the most part, they shoot the ball.
Yeah.
They shoot the ball, and guys don't play physical. Our guys don't play physical. They don't know how to play physical. They don't really know how to play against physical teams, and the rules are different. So it makes it difficult. And if they had time to adjust, they would. But when you don't have time and the games are going on, and you just got over there like 4 days ago, let me tell you something. They're still sleepwalking, by the way.
Agreed.
They're still walking on. They're sleep deprived and everything else right now.
Yep.
Well, I think the FIBA whistles, the refereeing. I mean, I don't know. I don't make excuses now, so please don't misconstrue that. But I think the officiating, like for example, they'll call fouls that NBA officials may not call, or vice versa. And I think getting used to that FIBA whistle is a task in itself.
Yeah,
What do you think?
it's like I said, the physicality of the game, it's different. they sort of let certain things go that, like you said, that they don't let go here. But when you watch the NBA playoffs, that's closer to what they have to deal with. NBA playoffs, the physicality of the NBA game is a little bit of a kickback to old basketball, to the back in the day. And listen, back in the day, what in the 90s, by the way. So when you think about it, it's our guys are just not prepared to play that style of basketball. The only thing that takes us over the top is our talent level. Typically we could put a team out there that's just so much more talented that they would not have a chance to deal with it. But when you drop the level down a little bit, even though these guys are great players, they're superstars, when you don't have the bulk of your talent, they match up a little bit better.
Yeah. No, they do.
Yeah. Well, I also wanted to mention, we're talking about this draft now. I know you were a first round pick, I think 9th pick.
Yeah.
What's it like on draft night? Just in your
it wasn't the show that it is. It wasn't the show that it is now. That's for
I know,
sure.
What were your emotions? I mean, this is something you'd worked for your whole life.
Yeah, because it wasn't as much of a show.
Right.
Obviously, it was a big deal. I was at my high school coach's house, and the people around, but the hoopla was nowhere near. It's not even in the ballpark, not even the stratosphere of what's going on now. And you just sort of, you're happy. And, the things about the players today, they're so much more in tune with the world than we were. They're exposed to so much more than we were. They understand what they're getting ready to get into. Most of us, when we get drafted, boy, we just get to play in the NBA. That's great. That's awesome. This is phenomenal, right? But the amount of money they make, the opportunities, the social media. I mean, most of these guys are superstars before they get to the NBA.
Oh my God!
Yeah.
Because of social media.
You said just what I was thinking.
Yeah, it's the truth though. You get high school guys that got 300,000-400,000 followers.
Yeah.
And a high school guy, there's no guarantee he's even going to have a great career in the NBA.
Yeah. Well, that kind of leads into my next question, Reggie. I was going to talk about this today. It's football, but it's the same thing with basketball. About now paying these players for their likeness and their images.
Yeah.
The guy that's coming in, think of his name, Byron. He's a new coach, a new quarterback at Alabama. Already going to be getting 6 figures.
Oh yeah, well, good for him.
And he's never played, never taken a snap.
Well, listen, that's the one thing that is going to be really good for schools like Alabama. The big money schools. They're going to go there not because they want to play for Alabama, but because of the amount of money they're going to make off the field. If you're making 6 figures, and you get a chance to play football too in college, maybe for 1 year or 2 years, because you have to be there. They don't take freshmen. They don't let you go out of high school. It's an incredible advantage for the bigger schools, the low mid-major schools. The people are not going to be clamoring to get these guys to their name, likeness, and images and things of that nature. But there's always ways. I mean, because guys can create their own through the internet. They can create their own through social media. They can do a lot of different things. The problem with that is, if you spend so much time doing that, are you really concentrating on what your craft is? Are you trying to be an entrepreneur? Or are you trying to be a basketball player? So there's a fine line. But when you're talking about the high majors, there's a lot of people with a lot of money who love their colleges and would do nothing more. Just give them great joy to have, that young man come to their school and be a part of their alma mater and be a part of their basically their social atmosphere, because this is their game. This is their Super Bowl. This is what they do. Yeah. And to be able to basically, pay for players legally, it's going to be pretty amazing.
Yeah. And date their daughters.
What's that?
date their daughters.
Yeah, well, there you go. Well, if you can go there if you want to. I'm not going there.
Well, I'm just saying some of the boosters I've heard that happening before, but it's in the Southeastern Conference, which I feel like that's my favorite conference. Obviously, the money that is transferred there is incredible, and you know what I'm talking about, Reggie.
Sure, of course, but that's a whole nother level of conversation. It's
exactly, but
different rules. Different rules for different conferences.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. You know, the other day when we were talking, I mentioned this, and I want our listeners to kind of hone in on this too. Playing for Jerry Tarkanian at UNLV, that to me it just couldn't be any better than that. What did he teach you about your life, about life, and also your coaching career? What did you take from him?
Well, you never hit a low 12. You never hit on a 6. You know, you have to take the dealer's gonna bust if he gets a 6. You know, you have to remember that. It's a card joke. You guys will catch up in a minute.
I'm with you, bro.
It's a Vegas joke.
It's a Vegas thing.
Yeah. Snake eyes are not good.
Yeah.
No, for real though. You know, Coach was interesting because Coach was about basketball. He's just a basketball junkie, you know. I've never seen so many plays being written on old napkins, you know, and, you know, you sit there and he would basically pretty much not paying attention to anything until you start talking about basketball. Then all of a sudden, you know, his ears would get big and his eyes would open up and, you know, now he's ready to talk.
Wow.
And so, you know, the thing that I got from Coach more than anything was he made me play basically as hard as I think I could play. I think he got the most out of me physically. He taught me what hard work and what playing hard was really all about. And a lot of kids don't know what playing hard is really all about. Our goal was to be the most in shape team in America, because his whole thing was, you know, it's the beginning of March, and we would be doing 17s in a minute, you know, and he'd stand there and he'd start cheering, and he's like, no one in the country is doing 17s in March. It's only us, you know.
Wow.
and you know, it was about being in great shape because, you know, and that time we pretty much, you know, we averaged 110 points a game with no 3-point line.
Wow.
So in order to shoot the ball and to play that fast, and what people don't understand is we weren't running and gunning. It was not, you know, like that, but we could have used a 10-second clock easily.
Yeah.
And we could have, you know, and what people didn't understand is that we had teams averaged like 25 turnovers a game against us because we pressed the entire game. His idea of basketball in those days was nonstop 40 minutes of pressure basketball. That was what he preached every day.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, it's a different way to play. And you have to remember, I was probably the 3rd or 4th best shooter on our team. So we had some guys that could really feel it.
Man.
From deep too.
Wow.
Yeah. So, I mean, it was fun though. And, you know, the other part is that we spent 3/4 of our practice was always about defense. 3/4 of our practice was all about, you know, picking up the ball, run, glide, run, turning your man, the challenges of taking a charge. He made defense the challenge. He made stopping your man the challenge. He made taking charges the challenge. And when your coaches find something that is important to them, it becomes important to the players. Where our coaches, if you took a charge, they would run around in circles, they would scream and shout. Basically we wanted to take charges just because it made everybody more excited than anything. Because he always said the scoring is what we do. Offense is what you do. It's easy. Offense comes easy to you guys. Defense is where it's hard.
That's true.
Yeah, very true.
Very true. Very true. Oh man. Hey, I want to ask you too, like, just for the fans that, might want to follow your career. What are you doing now? Where can we find you? What's happening? How's life going?
Well, for the last 3 years, my golf game was really getting good, man. I got down to single digits. It was good. I was, had a nice little tan going. And I was still doing Sirius XM radio, and I did some college TV stuff for Channel 5 in Los Angeles, and did some Laker games.
Cool.
So I was living a pretty decent life. I had a great opportunity come to me, and the job opened up at Bethune-Cookman, and I made a couple of phone calls. And the next thing I knew, I was on the phone with the president of the board and having a serious conversation about being the basketball coach. Went down there and had a conversation with them. They offered me the athletic director's job. I'm like,
awesome.
I was like, what? And I told him, I said, listen, if you hire me as the athletic director, I'm gonna hire myself as a coach. So that's what I'm doing. I'm the new athletic director at Bethune-Cookman and the head basketball coach. So it's a heck of a challenge at this time. Listen, we're all close to the same age. At this time in my life, to be able to give back, to be able to be a part of a HBCU with great history, Mary Bethune-Cookman is it's unbelievable to be a part of her legacy.
Yeah.
And it's been a lot of years there, Reggie.
Yeah, it's just amazing here.
Yeah, it's amazing school.
And when you think about her legacy and the people that she was around and what she did for the Black community and what she did for the Daytona community and the challenges that she had, and the fact that they're now recognizing her nationally. They built a statue of her, and it's a pretty impressive situation. It's a great time to be here at Bethune-Cookman.
Yeah.
Awesome.
12-foot marble statue.
Yeah. That 12-foot marble statue. Can you imagine?
From Italy.
And the president went over to Italy and had it blessed by the Pope, and it's pretty fantastic situation. I'm very proud. I'm very proud to be here because it gives me a chance to give back. It gives me a chance to do more. We always think about where we want to be in our lives, what we want to do with our lives, and this was an opportunity for me to do more. And I'm very challenged with the opportunity to be the AD, but I'm super happy being able to coach and have an effect on these kids and mentor them and help them get to where they want to go in their lives.
Yep, that's one of the reasons. That's one of the reasons we started. Me and Rick, when we got together, started doing this show and reaching out to people that have made good contributions and are still doing it. You come to a stage in your life, like I can't ball anymore, but I have influence and Rick has influence, and we're coaches and we have players and people we built relationships with along the way. So we kind of look at the show as being a way of giving back to the next generation so that they can see the hard work that the people did before them, and know that there's someone out there, making things happen, so I'm glad we got you on here, man.
Yeah. It's awesome. I mean, I always think I've been thinking about this a lot because I'm, new here. And, I played in Orlando for a season, the inaugural year in Orlando. I came to Daytona a couple of times, but didn't know much about it. But when I got a chance to really start to look at the history of the school and the history of the team and the football, they got a good football team too. And obviously a great band.
Best in the country.
Yeah. I'm so excited to be here. And her legacy just entices me. It intrigues me. So I'm really excited about the opportunity.
Cool.
No, it's unbelievable. Unbelievable. I was at 5 or 6 years that I coached there. I was so impressed. And then, like I said, my wife's been there 23 years.
Mm-hmm.
It's I followed that legacy. I know what
You've known your wife 23 years or more. Oh man, she must be a saint.
Oh no, she's from Sweden, so
she must be a saint.
She's
dealing with you for that long. Are you kidding me? That's unbelievable.
All right, last question.
Mm-hmm.
I think you will answer this awesome. If you're gonna give some advice to a young player who's aspiring to go to college or even professionally, what's the most important thing you would tell him or him or her?
Yeah, well, the difficult part is that you need to be self-motivated. If somebody has to have that conversation to you about your future, it's gonna be tough for you to make it. But you always have to talk to kids the right way. You never want to crush their dreams, but you want to be honest with them, because there's more to life than sports. And you have to take care of your business. You have to have a plan B and even a plan C. I'm one of those people that I've had every job I've ever wanted in my life. I've had 4 careers. Now this is a 5th career for me. So I think that you have to continue to evolve, and I'm evolving again, even at this age of my life. So it never stops. The growth never stops. And, I think that those are the things that you have to constantly think about. Where do you want to be the next 5 years? Where do you want to be in the next 5 years? And you have to plan ahead, and you have to think ahead. You have to project, and you have to sometimes speak it into existence. You got to pray on it and ask for guidance in that way. So I think that there's, I always tell kids these stories, and I do a speech. I grew up. My father was a janitor. He had his own custodial business. I grew up swinging that big mop, that industrial mop, and those big industrial sweepers, running the buffer machine, cleaning toilets. And the one thing that's always come to my mind is that my father came to me one time when we were cleaning up a pool hall, and it was a jukebox place also. And in the background was playing Lou Raw's Natural Man. And he came up, he put his arm around me. It was a Friday night. He said, Reggie, I know you don't want to be here, because I wanted to be out with my buddies. He said, I don't want you to have to do this type of work for a living, but it's never going to hurt you to learn how. And so I always say that, what are you willing to do? Are you willing to swing that heavy mop? Are you willing to buff the floors? Are you willing to clean the toilets? Are you willing to do the grunt work that it takes to be successful? Because it's not about sports. My dad never saw me play basketball. He worked too much.
Wow.
He worked too much. All he cared, he said to me, be passionate about something. Find out what it is that you love and you're passionate about, and roll with it. And that conversation was not about basketball. It was about being successful in life.
Yep.
And that's what this is about. And that's why I love college basketball, college sports. And I've always prayed to have a platform where I could really do some good work. And I didn't know that I was going to end up at Bethune-Cookman. I didn't know that I was going to end up in AD, but I've been preparing for this my entire life.
Man. Well, I'm glad you're there, man. And, we're going to follow you. So every now and then when you get a message from me, just hit me back, say, yo, it's going good. We're going to check on you.
I'll let you know in a couple of months how it's going.
Oh, man, that's awesome.
That's
Rick,
great.
Rick, you want to throw one more question in here, man, before we get out?
Well, no, that one about the kids, about being giving advice to the kids. I think that was probably pretty much, that was the last one I really had, because I think that's so important, because if kids are listening to this, and I feel like some will be, if they can get that message that Reggie just conveyed to us.
Yeah,
I think that's strong. That's very strong. Because I really believe that he's exactly right.
Yeah. I think we're all in agreement on that. You gotta put that grind in to make it work, and have a vision, and then follow through. nothing will happen if you don't follow through.
Well, and I bring up Mary Bethune, and I think about the me swinging the heavy mop. Think about the mop and think about the work that she put in.
No.
About the ground that she laid.
Oh yeah.
To be successful. So there's no mistakes. There's no, the stuff doesn't happen just because you are where you're supposed to be. And, it's just an awesome thing, an awesome feeling to be here. And by the way, for those of you who don't really understand what the HBCU experience is all about, it's a lot of fun at the same time.
Oh, yes, it is. Yes, it is.
Yeah.
Especially when you go on the road.
Yeah, yeah.
They've done the research. They talk about your mama. They talk about your background. They do the research. They do.
Yeah. Oh yeah. But they did that when I was coaching at New Mexico State. I'll never forget. I went to Utah State, and back in the day they had some of my modeling pictures, and they had the picture with me, my shirt off, so they were clowning me about having my shirt off, and so they were all basically they all dressed up like me, and they put the fake mustaches on, and back in the day when I had a mustache, and they took their shirts off and they kind of greased themselves up and they started clowning, right? So it was really funny. I went over there. I went over there and took a picture with them. So I thought it was awesome.
Yeah.
Oh man, that's great. That's great.
My younger sister used to love you at UNLV with that big fro.
Oh yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
Tark always, Tark was going bald. He got to the point where he had a little piece of hair over here. He pull it way over here, and he had another piece over here. He pull it way over here. So he started saying, Reg, if you cut your fro down, I'll cut all my hair off. and I say, well, Coach, you won't have to worry about that in a few minutes. It's going to be gone anyway.
Be gone naturally. Oh my God.
Oh, that's a classic. That's classic.
All right, man. Well, look, we're gonna wrap it up right there. I do want to definitely thank you, man, for coming on. I know it took us a bit, but hey, it's well worth it, and
yeah, Rick comes into my office. Rick, I got 9,000 things going on. Are you kidding me? Dude, seriously.
But the true Reggie came through for me, and I'll never forget that. So
I know.
No worries.
I appreciate it. Reggie, we appreciate it.
Pleasure's mine, guys.
Yeah, we know we hound people sometime, but we appreciate it.
You have to. You have to.
Hey.
All right, man.
Hey, CJ, I got to hit Reggie with this one, then we're going to end up. Okay. Reggie, I always use, hey, I'm not going to be able to go to lunch tomorrow. Reggie, you think I can just get the money?
Yeah.
I used to say that when coaching stuff. Man, I ain't going to be able to go to lunch with you today. You think I can just get the money?
That's awesome.
Oh man,
I do appreciate that.
There you go. All right, Reggie. Well,
all right, guys.
Thank you very much. And man, yeah, like I said, we're gonna keep in touch with you for sure, man. So
take care now.
You take care.
We're coming to Australia, Reggie. We're taking the charter.
Oh yeah, that's cool.
Yeah,
I got to figure out. I want to go because I told Rick that I was with Magic Johnson, and we went on a tour of Australia. We played in 5 or 6 different cities, so it's a wonderful place. I always say that when we leave this country, we're going to Australia.
Well, I've been here 31 years, and it's okay. No, I love it.
Yeah. I mean, every place has its downsides, of course. But
yeah. No, I love it. But all right, my brother, it's good talking.
All right, man.
And
you guys take it easy.
Rick,
all right, Rick. Thanks, man.
Have a good weekend.
Later, fellas.
All right, guys. Everyone.
We'll talk.
All right.
All right, boss.
Peace.
Sassy B Worldwide Productions. With over 25 years of entertainment experience, we have done it all. Celebrity appearances, red carpet events, image consultation, and branding design. Our clients range from American football stars to Hollywood celebrities and everyone in between. Want to make a splash in the entertainment industry? Then it's time to get sassy. SassyBWorldwide.com.
Well, that's going to do it for this week.
Remember, you can keep up with every episode by subscribing via our website. Follow us on social media and tell your friends about us. Next week, new guests, more basketball tips, more basketball stories about the game we all love. Till then, be safe and keep your eyes on the ball.
Give him a bone. Give him a bone. Give him a bone.